It's official hardcore time, and you don't want to miss out on the best part of the experience. You know, the fresh, packed experience with thousands of players tearing apart Azeroth, stealing tags, dueling to the death over the stolen tags, and then re-rolling to do it all over. And that's why you need to know the 5 things to do first to make the most of the hardcore servers. We'll be covering a huge secret that only big streamers will be using to stay alive. We'll also be covering overpowered classes, professions, and quests you can't afford to miss on the first day. So the number 1 thing you need to do first is to pick the right class. Hardcore without planning is not advised unless you want to spend the first month dying and re-rolling over and over again. Picking your class, your race, your faction is extremely important. If you want to hit 60, you should roll one of the big 3 of the Priest, the Hunter, or the Warlock. Statistically, Priest is the safest and easiest class to reach 60, but since not many players want to heal, they'll be in really high demand. In fact, a recent survey said that only 21% of players plan to heal, while 46% plan to DPS and 11% plan to tank, while the rest are undecided. Also, if you plan to raid seriously at 60, you'll definitely want to roll Alliance. I personally way prefer Horde, but unfortunately Paladins just make endgame raiding so much safer than Shamans. As for racials, for my Priest I'm playing Dwarf for Desperate Prayer and Alliance, which gives me a free health potion anytime I need it. If I was going Horde, I would have picked Troll Priest instead to increase kill speed, which also applies to pretty much all DPS classes. And no matter how much you love Mulgore and Silverpine Forest, the extra casting and attack speed from Berserking is just too strong to pass up. The second thing you need to do is talent tree prep. Once you've picked your class, you should also bookmark a talent tree calculator to refer back to for leveling. Picking the wrong talents is arguably the biggest mistake you can make, since it can severely slow down your leveling speed. For example, on my Priest a few months ago, I went down the shadow tree too early and I missed key holy talents that would have sped up my leveling significantly. I recommend using the Wowhead talent calculator page to read through the talents and plan out your build in advance. This is also the time to pick professions. Lots of people are going to tell you to go skinning to increase your gold. Skinning does make a lot of sense on paper since there'll be so many unskinned creatures laying around, but with the auction house available on live servers, it makes way more sense to go mining and engineering for both leveling speed and flipping profit. I'm also skipping alchemy since it's just too easy to buy health potions and even pots like Elixir of Water Breathing just by spending a few silver on the auction house. The third thing you should do immediately is to set up all your add-ons and your tools as well. The most important add-on to get is the Weak Auras add-on. With Weak Auras, you can set up the most important safety net, which is a low health warning. I also have a secret Weak Aura, which I'll share below the video, that automatically enters commands like max zoom every time I make a new character. Speaking of making new characters, one of the best add-ons I can recommend is Action Bar Saver. Once you get to about level 10, you can replace each of your abilities with a macro of the ability, so it'll automatically update for you. Then you can use Action Bar Saver and type ABS Save 1 or whatever you want to name the bars. If you ever die or make a new character, you can reload that bar setup with ABS Restore 1 and it saves so many headaches. I also recommend Questy to make questing so much easier. You can also go into the settings to auto-accept and auto-complete quests as well. Don't forget to also pick up a questing guide like the free guideline options or the newly updated Rested XP with a hardcore specific route. On top of the in-game add-ons, there's also another tool top streamers will be using to stay alive. Most top streamers, including XQC, have 2 internet connections with an instant failover, which means you have almost no chance of losing your character to a disconnect. Since disconnects will be a top 5 reason for dying in hardcore, this is definitely worth exploring if you have the funds or you're the main tank in a raiding guild. I know for a fact that big internet companies won't be disconnecting any player who subscribes to the channel. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today.
This is 100% false, and Jerome is in no way responsible for service uptime, and subscribing will not guarantee stable internet.
The fourth thing you need to do early on is to set up a bank Mule. One of the key features of the new hardcore servers is the ability to trade and use the auction house. Because of this, you should be sending almost all of your supplies and gold to a bank alt so you don't lose as much progress when you die. You'll want to run a fresh bank alt to the closest major city as quickly as you can. Alright, so the fifth thing you need to do very early on is to grab all the key starting items. For my Priest, that's items like the Skinning Knife, which does really strong damage early on. You should also go out of your way to complete several starting quests. One of my favorites for Horde is a new plague for Slumber Sand and Tearsfall Glades. This is a must-have quest because Slumber Sand will save your life all the way up until level 60. A sticky glue from a Solvent Spirit and Duratar should also be a priority, and there's really nothing wrong with coming back at a higher level just to pick it up. For my Priest on Alliance though, I'll be prioritizing the Bag of Marbles from the Gold Dust Exchange quest for key dungeon bosses. Also, once I'm around level 20, I'll spend an hour or two stocking up on Magic Dust from Dust Devils. Magic Dust is far and away my personal favorite leveling consumable. Alright, now that you've made it this far, please watch the video that's showing on your screen. That's the one the YouTube algorithm thinks you're gonna like the best, and we all know the algorithm can't be wrong.